why such a specific topic for a book? Because as you can understand, the machine learning is quite a big topic for which a lot of books have been written, actually. So I could decide to write another book on machine learning, but it would have been one of the more books available, actually. So I decided to pick this niche, I would say, topic, that is graph-powered machine learning. So the use of graphs to empower machine learning in order to show how much useful can be graphs in general for helping you to dealing with day-by-day work that you have to do as a machine learning practitioner, as I would say data scientist. The more I was trying, the more I was even writing, the more I noticed that there is a lot of opportunities for people that are interested in, let's say, in machine learning to use graph and to use, let's say, machine learning specifically on top of graph. Then, of course, as I said before, this was one of the topics that I really love. But at the same time, I noticed how this specific field of graph technologies and then machine learning on top of it was growing over the time. Because, as I said, when I started with the first recommendation engine, so this first attempt using a classical machine learning, let's say, topic on a new one that was the graph. At that time, there were very few graph databases available, almost Neo4j and a couple more. But and so the interest was more concerned to define what were the different models that people can use to get rid, in some cases, of the classical relational databases and use these new and appealing database like that is based on graph technology. And so let's say that over this worked for a lot of companies, for a lot of people actually. But the more this field was growing in terms of usages, in terms of people using it, of course it was evolving over the time. So right now, I would say in the last 3 years specifically, we noticed how the number of people that are aware of the role that graphs can play in the, in dealing with big data, in dealing with enterprise data, grew quite a lot. And now, of course, there is a second stage in this growing path of the graph technologies. That is the development of new functionalities, of new features on top of this graph technology that is becoming more and more a sort of a commodity for a lot of companies, actually. So we monitored the market for a long time, and we noticed how more and more companies are accepting this technology, this approach as one of the approaches available in the company, not for replacing, in some cases, existing technologies, but just to extend the set of services that they can use. So due to this better understanding of the role of the graph in general terms, of course, in the set of these new features, these new services, new applications that you can develop on top of the graph, of course, the machine learning, you can imagine, is taking a lot of interest, is getting a lot of interest from companies, from people, as I said, from machine learning practitioners. And that's why, in this new panorama, let's say creating a book or writing a book that could help by suggestions, by concrete examples, to approach this problem in the proper way could be, I was thinking that could be useful for a lot of people. That's why, I was putting together a lot of notes. I started preparing this table of content. And so I noticed that there was so much to write, actually. There was a really a lot of ideas going all around. I had to take a decision to decide actually which type of topic to discuss. And so, as you notice in the book, there's a first part in which I try to be very generic, just to introduce people to the basic concepts related to the graph technologies. Because, of course, we cannot forget about them. You need, of course, to understand exactly what is the set of minimum features that you need to take into account available in the graph, even for delivering some basic stuff. Then on top of this, I had to decide which type of topic to discuss. Well, of course, the first one at that point was the recommendation, because since the beginning of my work on graph, let's say it belonged to my heart somehow. So I wanted to describe how many things you can do with graphs in the recommendation space. As I said, my first experience was in this project called the Rico4j. That was this first recommendation engine on top of Neo4j, and then we had the opportunity at GraphAware to even explore different type of algorithms for different companies. And so, I noticed that it was becoming one of the most common use case for graph. Actually, for a lot of reasons, because as I like to say, when you approach a machine learning project and you think of it from the performance perspective, performance in a machine learning project is not only the quality of your model, actually, so the accuracy of your prediction. Because even though you have the best algorithm in the world in terms of accuracy, but it takes ages, let's say even 20 minutes to deliver the recommendations, actually it is useless. And in that sense, having the opportunity to use the graphs for creating a proper model and for also providing a recommendation when they are necessary, of course, at speed, represented a great advantage in all these projects that we had to deal with. So this came to my mind as, of course, one of the hottest topic to discuss in the book. So that's why, as you can notice from the table of content, you will find 4 different, let's say, chapters in it. Because again, when I started talking about this, I noticed that there were so many things to discuss. So I added one chapter after the other. And that's why also, for the few of you that had a look at the evolution of the table of content over the years, I would say, you can notice that from a first version in which there was just one, it grew quite a lot. And now we have 4 chapters regarding related to recommendation. So definitely recommendation had to have, let's say, a big portion of this book, and this is the case. And I have to say that even considering the feedback received after the release of the first chapters, in that sense, a lot of people really appreciated it for the type of suggestions that they found in it. The second topic is about fraud detection. In this case, the reason is totally different, because in this case, I personally think that graphs can help a lot in fraud detection. We had a very few experience in that sense. The chapters in this book, definitely we are investigating more and more solutions for using these ideas that I wrote in the book. Because generally, fraud detection and graphs were used mostly as in a very simple way for identifying rings, for example. So people that try to create multiple accounts in order to get some credit, and then once they've got this credit, they will just disappear after they use the cards, for instance, for a big amount of money. But definitely this is not one of the most common use case for the fraud detection, actually. So I wanted to approach this problem in the book from a different perspective, actually. I wanted to use this idea of anomaly detection applied to the fraud detection in the context of a graph technology, for instance. And I have to say that it has a lot of opportunities. It has a lot of interesting applications that you will see in the book. Can be applied in multiple scenarios. Of course, the credit card fraud is one of the most common, but definitely you can use in healthcare fraud. You can use in other type of fraud without any change, actually, because the concept is exactly the same, because it is building this k nearest neighbor graph, on top of which then you can compute multiple distances metrics from which you can actually find in a very simple and easy way multiple outliers that can be used in your transactions, for instance, and so on and so forth. In the context of fraud detection also, there is another interesting aspect that I tried to explain in a very detailed way, because I think that it can be very useful. And it's not only me, because even Gartner, in their analysis on fraud detection mechanism and patterns and scenarios, they consider social network analysis as the latest of 5 stages in which you can get the most. It is the most advanced way for fighting the fraud. And in this sense, I wanted to use also this approach for showing how simple algorithms can be used for solving a big problem. And maybe that we can come back on this specific topic later on. And finally, the last big topic in the book is about timing text. Is about building out of unstructured data source or multiple data sources a knowledge graph, because this is one of the most recent topic that I'm working with that made me very interested in the way in which graphs can help you to structure the information available in the so-called unstructured data in a way in which you can extract a lot of information out of it. You can really process your textual data, or if you prefer, the whole of enterprise knowledge in a way in which it was not possible before. And I think that you are more and more listening this term of knowledge graph as the new trend in the artificial intelligence. And maybe that we can come back on this specific topic later. So these are the 3 big topics in the book that I decided to put these 3 actually as main topics, because I found them not only interesting for the reasons that I explained to you, but also in some way they allowed me to talk about some specific features available in the graph. So some specific advantages that you can get out of the graph while you're using it for the machine learning projects. So I tried also to cover different aspects in these different topics. Sometimes also in the same topic you can see different approaches, and but the idea is that using these 3 topics, I was able to cover multiple scenarios, multiple examples. That's why I really try to put all these topics together.